Hi there, Taurus. Healing Grasshopper here to do your second week in September reading, the 9th through the 15th. Okay. Ten of Swords. Glad to see it in the beginning of your reading. So, Ten of Swords to start out of the gate is like, look, it's done. It's really done. You are emerging from the energy even of the situation that you've been through. It's kind of like when you have a death or a big loss like a divorce or something, there's a difference between the way you feel the week it happens and the way you feel maybe a year or two out, you know, after it happens. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you're 2 years out. It means that because that 2 year feeling could come quicker or come farther. You can't predict um grief, but you know what I'm talking about, how there are stages and there are distinct feelings that you have in those stages, and you can look back to the stages and remember how each stage felt. The stage one, you know, the day of the loss, right, is a very, very different feeling from a year after. So this is that closing stage of the years after, where you can look back at things and certainly um dredge up that feeling, but the scar has been healed over. Um, so this is depicting that, but it's also inviting you to recognize it, because there are times, and I know that it happens to me in my life, where things that happen to you, traumatic things that happen to you, and years will go past, and you still catch yourself, especially for me in the morning. It's like you wake up and you're like, yeah, that happened, you know? Um, but anyway, you still feel yourself, um, and catch yourself thinking back to that thing that hurts you. And beyond the assessment stage, you know, when something like a divorce, a breakup, or a loss of a job or something happens, um, there is an assessment period where it's important to kind of look back at it and see what you can learn from it. Um, but beyond that, it just becomes unhealthy and excessive. So if you are catching yourself still thinking about these things, it's time to start putting in a system of letting go. And that's easier said than done, right? That is, you know, um, adapting mantras, and you can even do like some sort of catchphrase or one word even, that kind of snaps you out of that thought, like birthday or something. You make it up. Um, Or you can do a mantra. Mine is I am loved, I am blessed, I am supported, I am protected. I am protected, I am supported. You know, and it just draws your thought away from that negative mindset. The star. Okay. This is like let go because something better, your heart's desire is coming. Something that really makes your heart sing. Speaking of heart singing, the Ace of Cups would be appropriate here. Or like the Page or Knight of Cups. The star and the moon. Isn't that interesting? Not reversed. Okay. This is a very distinct message. What you need to, well, what's prominent to me in these three cards together here is the fact that it's nighttime. Okay. We are in the dark. We've got the moon that produces uncertainty and lack of clarity, and a general feeling of unease and kind of insecure type feeling, like what's going to happen to me type thing. Um, but we do have the star here, which will guide you, because oftentimes stars are used in navigation for guidance, right? So it's like even in darkness, spirit always, provides a way for you to navigate, no matter how difficult the situation is. You just need to look for your North Star. And what is that North Star? It is your desires. What do you wish for? Let's stop dwelling on what's happened to you and what's negative in your life and turn your attention to your desires. And that will draw you out of this. You know what just came to mind? The Sound of Music, favorite things. You know, you think of your favorite things and then it doesn't feel so bad. That's this. Page of Swords. There is the clarity. And it's come out after the moon. This is clarity and not just clarity, right? Because clarity would be the Ace of Swords, right? This is acting from a place of clarity. This is after you've received that sword from the universe, and you are letting it guide you. Five of Cups. So, and it's in the center of your reading. This is the focus, right? So, but we knew the focus already because we talked about this here. The focus is you turning your attention away from your misgivings and, focusing on your blessings. And by the way, let's not ignore the fact that it's under the star. And the bridge here is really calling me here. I was talking about turning your attention. If he just lifted up his head, right, and then started making the turn too, he would see that there was a bridge that will take him to the castle. And it really feels like not too far away. It's just a few steps away. It's a short walk to that castle. He doesn't have to be out here with the spilt milk. And the word the song optimistic comes to mind. It's it's a theme with me. It comes up a lot in my readings. Sound uh Sound of Blackness is the band's. Optimistic is the name of the song. Go have a listen if you haven't heard it. Those of you who are already subscribed have probably heard it by now because I make reference to it a lot. It's a very inspiring song. Gives me chills every time I listen to it. I have a personal attachment to that song too, but we won't get into. Okay. As soon as I saw this, it fell over here. Seven of Swords. I heard outsmarting the devil, right? So the devil is negative energy, shadow energy that always wants to draw you into it, right? Which is clear. That's where you are to a degree. Not every single and not every single one of you are completely immersed in this. We're talking to the Taurus collective, so a number of you can be in different stages. Some of you might already be ready to walk away. Others of you might still be more immersed in it. Who knows? But this is the going about things in a clever way, right? You've taken the sword from the universe, and then now you are really starting to put it into place and outsmarting your opponents, metaphorically speaking, of course. Sometimes it can be literal, but I guess to a degree you can call it literal if we're talking about outsmarting the devil, but it's still somewhat allegorical, right? We are going to find a way of outsmarting this negative mindset that we have been immersed in, Taurus. Okay, because it is certainly time, Spirit is saying. So we will have clarification cards, so we'll talk about that some more. Oh, you know what? So, Taurus, I'm going to insert myself in the story for a moment because Spirit just showed me something. Um, I am a foodie and I live in New York, which is a great place to be a foodie. And months ago, this summer, I had realized that, you know what? I really haven't been on a food crawl in a while, and that is a shame because I always come across videos on YouTube of content creators going on New York food crawls and that kind of thing. And I was like, And by the way, I've had some difficult times, right? I've had a whole bunch of losses and betrayals and all kinds of crazy things happening to me in my life, right? But what's new? I'm a Capricorn. Capricorns often we don't have it easy. But anyway, Taurus, I had decided to really embody this Ten of Swords in my life. And I was actually thinking about things in terms of tarot, and I do that often. I'll look at a situation and a tarot card will spring up in my head. But I was like, listen, it's really time for Ten of Swords in my life. How do I, Seven of Swords, kind of hack? Hack is the word for this card. Yes. How do I hack my life so that I can really um, pull myself away from this mindset? Because, by the way, Taurus, I definitely am not saying snap out of it. It's not that easy. I totally understand that. But if we find ways to snap ourselves out of it, like going on a food crawl, if you're a foodie, um, you can be a film lover. Go take yourself to a movie. And by the way, you don't have to be with anyone else. And in these types of situations, it's actually a good, healthy thing to do things by yourself. You need to become your own best friend, right? Because you really need to let yourself know, your subconscious know that you are enough. There doesn't need to be anyone else involved. You can have a good time by yourself. You don't need other people to feel good, right? So this made me think of um recently I went to have birria tacos because I'm so sick of hearing people talk about them already. It's like the craze. And it's been the craze for the past like 2, 3 years. And I'm like, it's ridiculous. I've never had one of these damn tacos already. Let me go have one, right? So this is like a month ago. So there's a place that's notorious for them and not all that far away from where I live, about 6 miles away. Um, and I was like, I'm doing this today. And I went and hopped in the car and went. It was fantastic. And the neighborhood around it, I haven't been there in a while. And I walked around and really ended up having a good time. The tacos delicious, by the way, you know? So this is what I'm talking about. And I know I'm long-winded here, Taurus, but um I felt like when I pulled this card out and I said what I said to you, you guys were like, well, how do I do that? There's an example. You apply that to your life. For you, it doesn't need to be tacos or food or film, whatever it is that you like to do, that you're like, oh, wow, I haven't done that in a long time, or oh, I've been meaning to do that. And you keep putting it off, stop putting it off, go do it. And it's not just a one and done either. You have to keep doing it because just one taco run is not going to fix your problems, obviously. But over time, your subconscious is going to get the message that you are enough and you are having fun. You are capable of making yourself happy. It's very, very important. By the way, I don't remember ever giving this advice ever in my tarot career because it's just something that I just noticed, kind of. Not really. It's the fool's journey. But anyway, most of the cards in the tarot have one person in them for a reason, right? It is the fool's journey. Sometimes you'll have, two or three people, but those are really few and far between in the deck. Usually you have one person. And by the way, the ones with more than one person usually does have a focus on one of the three, one of the two, um, when you pull them out. What am I babbling about? The being your own best friends and really coming into that realization that you are enough. This is your journey here, not your journey in some two or three other people. And this is something that some of you, Taurus, really need to really instill in yourself emotionally. Because intellectually, sure, it's very easy to understand what I just said. You know, it's healthy to be your own best friend. Yeah, sure. There's nothing complicated in that. But actually implementing that and embodying it, that's a whole different ballgame, right? How do you do that? Like anything else, like learning to play the piano or the violin with practice. And practicing enjoying yourself, what can be more glorious than that? Not reversed. Okay. Wow. I can't think of a better card to come out after this because this explains exactly what I was talking about. The Six of Cups is the nostalgia card. And sometimes the nostalgia card has a message like, get your head out of the clouds. This is a pipe dream. You're wasting your time. This is unhealthy, but not in this context. This is actually positive, right? And it is upright. So the sentimentality here is real and healthy sentimentality, right? So what this is saying is find your sentimentality. Find what makes you feel like this. Reclaim your wonder back. Maybe not your innocence, but your sense of wonder when you were innocent, right? When we were children and things were fun and, you know, amusement park. How about that? That's another thing, right? I actually didn't do it. The other thing I was planning on doing is that there is an amusement park uh, in New York that I grew up going to called Playlands, and it's one of my top five favorite places on earth. Um, and I have not been there in many years, and I keep hearing that number one is declining, and and that it's turned over hands in management for a while, and that it's in danger of closing. I was like, oh my God, I really need to get back to Playlands. So that's Spirit just brought that to mind as well. Playlands here, right? So for me, it's that Playland represents that sense of wonder that I'm talking about. Could you be an innocent child again? No, but you can certainly try and relive it and have fun doing it. That's what this is. So whatever it is that gives you that feeling, go do that. And it's going to start to draw you out of this and this. And by the way, it's in a diagonal line here. Let's see what turns up over here. This is a long one for you, Taurus. I haven't even gotten to the clarification cards. But you guys need it. You've got Ten of Swords here. You guys need it. So I will always stay longer for folks that need it. So I hope you have your cup of tea, coffee, or snacks. Reverse? Yeah, I didn't think so. So you've got the Four of Cups, and now you have the Seven of Cups. Under the Five of Cups. So this is very much a message of why are you focusing on these three cups that are turned over when you have all of these cups? It's like Spirit is adding seven cups to the two that you already have behind you. It's like, how many more cups do you want? Is what Spirit is saying. Okay? So, this is a very strong message that Spirit is really trying to get your attention and trying to help you. And here's another meme. There's a meme that's been coming up a lot in my readings lately, like in the past 2 months. I've brought it up at least 3 or 4 times to in different readings. Maybe yours is one of them, but um it's kind of like the meme is, and there are different versions of it, but the one that comes to mind most of the time is a little girl who's holding like a regular garden variety lollipop, like the one that you get in the doctor, and God is kind of standing, or Jesus or whatever, is standing in front of her, hunched over with his hand out, like, give me the lollipop. And in the other hand, he's holding behind his back is one of the carnival style big spiral lollipops, right? That came to mind here. This is the spiral lollipop. But in your personal meme here, he's already shown you the lollipop, right? But for you, it's like yours is you're holding a lollipop stick. Like the lollipop's already been consumed and you're kind of crying over the lollipop stick. And God has already revealed the carnival lollipop. It's no longer behind his back. He's like presenting it to you. But your eyes are down at the stick, you know? And God's like, lollipop, you know? That's what this is. Like, look up already. Take the lollipop. Like, seriously, God is trying to work with you here. King of Pentacles. Okay. The King of Pentacles is one who is secure and comfortable in his position. And oftentimes in readings, I talk about this is where you are headed towards, and this is no different. But there's a slightly different message. There's kind of Spirit wants you to enter into the manifestation phase of this. You're not quite here, but the whole fake it till you make it type thing in the manifestation phase where and it's not really faking, it's putting yourself in the mindset that later leads you into what you're visualizing. This is that because here is the diagonal line of it being over, you crying over what happened and how Spirit wants you to release it. And now Spirit is saying, turn your attention to being whole again and enjoying being whole again. A sip of water. What's our outcome, Spirit? Yes. Okay. So getting three of wands in the outcome card is your resistance, which I understand. Three of swords is you being hurt, and you are still hurt. You are still affected. We know this because of this over here. Ten of swords. It's what we started with. I feel like the only advice that I can give you is that it's okay to acknowledge your pain. And you can even speak to your pain. It's okay that I feel this way. What happened hurt, but I'm going to work on and focus on things that don't hurt and things that make me happy. That's all you can do. But staying here is certainly not what you want to do. Okay, let's get some clarity here. And again, I want to emphasize no one, including spirit, is telling you to snap out of it. I would never tell you that because I know what grief feels like. All spirit is saying is let's start moving in the right direction. That's all. Just take a step. Four of Swords. Okay. Let's see what the other two cards are, though, before I say anything. Mm-hmm. Okay, that makes sense. We'll see if that's reversed in a moment. Okay, but I'm certain enough. Um, the Four of Swords next to the Lovers here, because I gotta say, when Four of Swords came out, I was like, huh? But then the Lovers coming out totally makes sense. Four of Swords and the Lovers is a direct message. It's a very literal message of taking a rest in relationships, right? And we kind of mentioned that before about you can enjoy yourself on your own. You are enough. You don't need to have other people in your life to enjoy yourself. And I suppose I said that for a reason because spirit is also doubling down on that. Now, I have observed a lot of people in my life because there are a lot of you out there, and I I attribute it to growing up with siblings because I always suss that out too. What am I talking about? This is something, the fact that I told you that you need to spend some time by yourself and you don't need others in your life. A lot of people feel like they need other people in their lives. And in my observation, almost all of those people that I have come across in my life are people who grew up with siblings. I am an only child, so this doesn't so much happen with me. I learned from an early age, from birth, that I can be my own best friend and I don't feel the need to have people around all the time. In fact, I'm the opposite. And I'm an empath on top of it all. So I really need my alone time and I cherish my alone time. I don't have those urges of, oh, I want to be in a group. Oh, I want to go somewhere. I have to be with a group. I have to travel by myself. I have to go. I mean, I have to travel with other people. I have to go to the movies with someone else or to dinner with someone else. That's not me. But a lot of people, I feel like I'm speaking to a lot of people like that who would never ever dream of going to a restaurant by themselves. They can't bring themselves to do it. Um, and there can be many reasons for that. But what I'm seeing in this reading is that you guys have been with someone, either someone or a group of people. It could be like uh, a husband or boyfriend that you've had for a while, and you're used to having one after the other. Um, right away, which in my opinion, is very unhealthy. You should always have time to yourself in between. But that's what we're talking about here. Have time for yourself in between, is what this is saying. Um, and it doesn't need to be boyfriends either. It can be siblings that you've lost. It can be other people in your life that you consider staples who are always there. That person that you call or they call you in the morning and they're asking you, or they're in the house asking you what you're going to do for the day. You're planning things for the day together. You do everything together. This could be loss of a best friend or that kind of thing. Um, and there's the loss of that. But Spirit is saying that you're in this situation in this point in your life that is necessary. There's a time of reflection that needs to be happening here, and that there should not be like any kind of effort or determination to go fill this void with another person. That's not what you need. You need to get to know yourself, and however long it takes. This could be, more than just a few months. We're talking a year or more. And then go out and do those things that I was talking about by yourself and see how you feel. Maybe one time you do it and it's terrible, but you keep going until you actually start to enjoy yourself. It can happen, I promise. Queen of Swords. Wow, this has gone on for a long time. We've got 38 minutes here. We're approaching 40 minutes. I feel like you guys need it, not reversed. Queen of Swords is about cutting things out in your life. And the feeling is very strong that what you're cutting out here is number one, very obvious toxicity, people who are prone to hurt you in your life. You've got to get rid of them. You don't need them. And that's another thing that I see often with people who settle for people that hurt them because they don't want to be alone. Terrible. Why do that to yourself? Anyway, we're going to stay on track here. Queen of Swords is talking about getting rid of the things that are toxic that exist in your life, but it also talks about the things that approach you in life. right? Because my hands went immediately to her. I mean, my eyes went immediately to her hands here. She's beckoning. She's like, okay, bring it. Let's see. These are new people in her life too, because you can interpret that in different ways. But in this moment, that's what it's making me feel. Like the people in front of you who present themselves, you are assessing each one, and you're ready to cut them out. Like, nope, I don't want that in my life. Thank you. Next, right? Which will bring you here. And look at how the swords are positioned here, and the relationships are positioned. The one on top of the other here. You've got stopping and resting, and you've got cutting out what doesn't serve you, and resting and reflecting, cutting out what doesn't serve you. Then you have uh, a presentation of relationships, because lovers doesn't mean automatically romance in my readings. Lovers are two people put in a situation on this plane. And this is the universe here, spirit observing what we each choose to do with it. Four of Wands is celebration after you've gone through a period of discernment, right? But you don't get to this period of mastery here without taking a rest and assessment of your life. This is outcome. Here's more celebration with other people. Ace of Pentacles. Wow. Ace of Pentacles in this reading is handing you a new way of life on this physical plane, because a lot of this is emotional and spiritual, no doubt. But Ace of Pentacles, often is talking about a new way to make money, and that's not what it's talking about here. This is a new way of life, general, on the physical plane. That things can change for you in every way. This is transformation that spirit is proposing to you that will bring you to this. Look at how you have Three of Swords to Three of Cups. But there's a journey that you're going to need to go through to get to this. This doesn't happen on its own. This is going to take soul searching and a journey. Remember that first step that I was talking about? The first step is going to the movies or whatever it is. You check out those tacos or whatever it is in your life. That's the first step. And keep going, though. It's not one and done. Okay, Taurus? You will get there in the end. But don't do it begrudgingly. Enjoy it. There is enjoyment baked into this if you allow it to be. Okay, Taurus? You're going to be more than okay. I promise you. Just get up out of bed, take a shower, and go have some tacos. Okay, guys? I love you, Taurus. I'm sorry it was so long, but I really felt like you needed it. You're going to get there. You're okay. And we'll get through it together, okay? I'm looking forward to hearing from you guys in the comment section. Um, it's like Christmas morning getting comments. it does indeed help me with the algorithm, and I'm going to ask you to help me with the algorithm in a moment. But the comments are really not what I'm asking. I mean, I'm not asking for help with the algorithm with the comments. I'm asking for comments for me. They keep me going. They inspire me. You guys make me feel like I'm not talking into the void, like someone's actually listening out there. Someone actually appreciates my readings. That is what I need to keep going. Well, I don't need it. I have faith, but it certainly helps. Okay, guys? So if there's something on your mind, please don't hold back. It'll make my day to hear from you. Okay? So I will be speaking to you soon. Also, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. There's the help with the algorithm that I said I was going to ask for. I do actually need help. The algorithm has not been kind to me lately. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers and beyond. So it is a very quick gesture, easy gesture, costs you nothing, but really means the world to me and helps my channel grow. So I thank you in advance. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you don't miss upcoming videos. And even if you don't get a notification, um, come check on the Healing Grasshopper channel and see if there's not something new, because sometimes, a lot of the time, YouTube for whatever reason doesn't notify you, which is very frustrating to me and my own favorite channels. So I do check up on my favorite channels myself. Um, if you're really inclined to helping this channel, what would really be helpful is if you also go into the playlist and choose a playlist like TAURUS playlist, put it on autoplay, and have it on as background music. Very helpful. Even while you sleep, because watch hours are everything to, and subscribers are everything to help a channel grow. Okay? Um, I'm assuming this is your sun sign that you're watching. What you also what you might not know is that also what's really important are your moon, rising, and north node signs. Just as important as sun signs, and will help uh, get you a bigger, wider, clearer picture of things too. If you don't know what those signs are, you can find out very easily and for free online. Just Google calculate my blank sign, find out what they are, come back to Healing Grasshopper channel and listen to the corresponding videos. Shout out to all my viewers. I really appreciate your support. My English speakers, US, UK, Canada, Australia, I appreciate you. I see you in my analytics, and I'm blown away every time. Um, my non-English speakers, that's never gets old to see. Spanish speakers, Portuguese speakers from Brazil, um, Philippines, India. I had an Indian, a Hindu speaker asked me recently to dub my videos in Hindi, which I really appreciate the request, and absolutely uh, in the plans to start dubbing my videos. And because I got that request too, Hindi is really top on my list, but very expensive. If you can imagine dubbing 12 videos um, every week, it's a lot of money. So all I'm asking is you stick with the channel, you like, subscribe, check out the playlist, help the channel grow, um, and bear with the subtitles, and we will get there together eventually. Okay? So I will speak to you guys soon. Love, light, and many blessings.